Yeah, I also wanted to say something. I think particularly every death is tragic, right? The death of an adult, of an elder, but the death of a youth has a lot more, I think, like just sad gravity of it because they're literally killing our future, right? In particular, the babies that die. Um, you know, they didn't know that they were going to be making this transit. Their parents decided this for them, and I know that the narrative of Dreamers is that they didn't know anything right. They shouldn't be held accountable for their parents' mistakes of like crossing illegally. But the truth is that they are coming from places of extreme violence, and that's not to say that the countries where that's from, where my parents are from. My parents are from El Salvador and Nicaragua. Are horrible places that no one should ever go to or I think it's been the environment for so long due to the interventions and the imperialism that has not allowed them to grow as countries, to grow as communities. In particular, I want to say something around the gang violence, which I think a lot of the media tends to focus on, right? That only the good people, the respectable people deserve to be in this country and deserve a pathway to citizenship or safety, etc. But the truth is that the gang violence didn't start in Central America. Gang violence started in the United States after a lot of the veterans of the civil wars that were incited and continued by U.S. imperialism forced people to flee, right? So you've been fighting decade-long wars, right, where people are getting killed left and right. Doesn't matter if you're on one end or the other of it, right? But you literally grow up, and a lot of the people fighting these wars were young men, right? Who after the war ends and there's supposed to be a resolution, don't see a lot of opportunity and are traumatized by the brutalities happening in these wars. So they come to the United States seeking, some form of a new life, and they find the racism, the lack of economic opportunity for immigrants, and are forced to band together. And because they've been killing for so long in these wars, they begin to do the same cycles of violence here, because there's not any way, right, for them to no forms, no programs, nothing for them to find a better way of living. And I think we can point our fingers at the gang members, we can point our fingers at the people that commit this violence, but at the end of the day, if a person isn't offered a different pathway to have a better life, they're gonna do what they know how to do to make sure that they can continue living. And that's why we don't believe in punishment, we don't believe in incarceration, and we don't believe in detention. Whether or not you've committed a basic offense or a huge offense, we believe that people deserve a chance to find another way of living. Because at the end of the day, underground economies are going to continue to exist, and people are going to keep hustling and making sure that their families have food on the table, whether you agree with it or not. So there's definitely a bigger picture to everything, right? And I think we find ourselves in a very, very horrible situation where asylum seekers are not being granted the rights that asylum seekers are supposed to be granted. And this is why we do this work. So I wanted to just say that.